This is the third part of the Prezi presentation on verb tense overview. We're going to have a look at the red section here with progressive tenses and the blue one as well, plus a recapitulation of everything that we have seen in the 3 videos. So let's go with the progressive tenses. So progressive tenses are formed with the auxiliary to be plus the main verb in ing. So we have here the 3 time periods where it can be used. So in the past, here, I was studying English when you called me last night. The present, I am studying English right now. And you have also the future, but we're not going to touch this one for now. So you're going to use progressive tenses when you want to talk about actions in progress. So this is the general characteristic for the 3 of them. So it tells you that something is in progression. You are fishing now, so you can imagine the person with the fishing rod trying to catch a fish. Another image that can help you is when you think of a phone. So the phone is ringing. This is the noise is happening right now. A second characteristic of the present progressive is that not only can it be used to talk about something that is happening right now, but also for temporary periods of time. Like here, the woman is expecting a baby. I mean, it's not something permanent. It's not going to last forever. It's going to last for a temporary period of time. How do you form questions? Once again, the verb is formed with the auxiliary to be and the verb in ing, which means that you have your auxiliary already. All you do is switching. You don't touch the verb at all. So you are playing becomes are you playing cards? Or in the past, you were studying becomes were you studying English? Negative forms are made by adding not after the auxiliary. Because there's an auxiliary, I don't add anything, I don't change anything about the verb, I just add not. I can use the contraction if I want. So she is eating becomes she is not eating pizza or she isn't eating pizza. In the past, she was going becomes she was not going or she wasn't going to the store. The red section is done. We're going to go to the blue one. The blue section is only for 101 level students. So for 100 students, you can skip this part if you want. Perfect tenses. So they are formed with the auxiliary to have plus the main verb, which is the past participle form of the verb. In the past, you're going to use the verb to have in the past. I had studied plus the past participle. In the present, I have studied English in different countries, and you also have the future one. But for you guys, you just need to concentrate on the present perfect tense, and it's just an introduction here that we're going to do. So what you keep in mind in general is that with perfect tenses, it's mostly when you want to focus on an accomplishment or a specific result. If I use the 2 examples in the present, he has visited London 5 times. What is important here is not when this person visited London, is to see the accomplishment or the result that he has been there 5 times. I have already driven a Porsche. It's the same thing here. It's not important to know how many times, when it was. The message is, I have driven a Porsche. This is what is important here. You can think about a to-do list. You have certain things you want to do, and after each item you have completed, then this is the accomplishment, this is the result. So then you can say, okay, excellent, I have created an epic snowman, I have finished my paper, I have learned how to joust, etc., etc. This chart shows you how to use the simple pasts, that is called here le prétérit, and the present perfect. What you have to remember is when you have a specific date or a specific moment in the past, you're going to use the simple past. I had an accident yesterday. We traveled a lot when we were young. So it refers to a specific moment in the past. If not, then you're going to use the present perfect. I have had an accident. I don't know when, I just know that it happened to you. The second thing is, the second context is when something happened in the past, but it still has consequences in the present, or it's still true in the present. It still continues. For example, if I say we have traveled a lot, it means that you traveled in the past and you intend to travel again in the present and future. If I say this writer wrote lots of plays, it's because he's dead. It's over. He won't be able to write any more plays. If I say this writer has written lots of plays, it means that he's still alive and can still write plays. I broke my computer last week. It was last week. It's repaired. There's no problem anymore. Or if I say here, I can't contact you because I have broken my computer, then it has an impact on the present. The interrogative forms, you have an auxiliary and a verb already, so all you do is to switch the auxiliary and the verb. So you have eaten becomes have you eaten 3 slices? Negative forms, you just add not after the auxiliary. So she has moved becomes she has not moved to Chicago, or she hasn't moved. You can use the contraction if you want. Okay, so that's all the verb tenses I wanted to have a closer look at with you guys. If we recap, if I do a recapitulation of the most important points to remember about verb tenses and sentence structures in English. On the left, you recognize the verb tenses we saw with their contexts. The same colors have been used to identify them well, so you recognize them: the yellow section, the green one, the red one, and the blue one. Now you have 2 new columns: question formation and negative forms. I'd like you to use the same colors to make the whole chart more visual. Notice that for most verb tenses, except the simple tenses, all you have to do to ask a question is to switch the auxiliary and the subject. So you have things like, will you come? Can she play the piano? Is he dancing? So you just switch the auxiliary and the subject. This is what you have in gray. The difference for simple tenses is that you need to add an auxiliary before the subject, do, does, or did, and you have to keep in mind that the main verb stays in the infinitive form. So you have something like, does he like football? Did you work yesterday? For negative sentences, all tenses do the same. You add not to the auxiliary. If you have the auxiliary already, that's fine. Otherwise, you add it and you add not. I do not understand. You are not writing. We should not laugh, for examples. In blue here, you have the verb to be that is different only in the simple present and simple past. In this case, there is no need to add an auxiliary. You go directly. So for a question, are you insane? And for a negative sentence, they are not tired. Are you okay? I know it's a lot of information at the same time, but we'll have the opportunity to discuss it in class and practice. So don't worry, keep smiling.